First Talk. Local guests, local news, local sports. WHKY Talk Radio, 1290 AM and 102.3 FM.
First Talk with Hal Rowe, WHKY Talk Radio.
Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. Usually on the first Monday of every month, we welcome the Catawba County Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber, to join us for Chamber Chat just before the 8 o'clock hour. This particular month, they said, oh, look, we've got a lot going on. There's some things that are happening when we'd very much like to do an extended Chamber Chat. Could we maybe come in at 8? Looked good on our calendar, looked good on theirs. So here to talk with us this morning, Kim Dahlsten. She's Vice President of Operations for the Catawba County Chamber of Commerce. And we're here to talk about Leadership Catawba. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to see you this morning.
Always a pleasure to see you. And
Me
you know,
too.
I see a lot of photographs out there of the different chamber events, whether it's a ribbon cutting or whatever it is going on in our community. And you always look like you're truly happy to be there. It looks like that you're really plugged in with what you should be doing and want to be doing in our community and as a career, because you really do. You look like you're happy and a good time is being had by all.
Like I say, it's always a good day at the Chamber. So.
Always a good day at the Chamber. You're here to talk about a Leadership Catawba this morning.
Absolutely.
And instead of me trying to put it together, why don't you tell us about Leadership Catawba?
I would love to. So how much time do we have today?
We've got the full hour. We've got the full hour, but we'll share it with some folks. How about that?
Absolutely. It is my joy to be here. So yeah, Leadership Catawba is the longest running program of the Chamber of Catawba County. We've been doing it we're starting our 48th year.
Wow.
So it's been since 1974, but we educate and empower leaders for the future. We truly know that having a organization that is a focus that they do, and we have several in the community that we cooperate and we pair together to make sure that we have skills. We've got relationships that are being built. We have empathetic leaders that we're growing for the future as well, is really important. So that is what we get to do every single year with this program, and I'm privileged to have 3 of our graduates with us this morning to share more about their experiences and their stories and how it changed and helped their leadership development journey throughout the last year.
Tell me a little bit about the methodology, the way that it is implemented.
Absolutely. So it is over 8 months. So it has a retreat and orientation in August. We conclude with graduation in March, but in between those 6 months, we have a full day and a half day that we have a different topic that we focus on. So these are all based in strategic priorities the Chamber and the community is working on. So reinventing community or serving our community, building for jobs, workforce connectivity, all of those key pieces that we need to have people understand, but also know what is happening every single day on behalf of those programs to make a better place.
Now, so you meet all the students, I guess. I guess they're called students. I don't know.
Class members.
Class members.
Participants.
Oh, okay. Class members or participants will meet once a month, monthly basis. Is that right?
We do twice a month. So one
Twice a
full
month.
day and one half day.
Okay.
So throughout these interactions, again, they have the privilege to meet all the city managers, mayors of each of the municipalities. They meet government leaders. They meet leaders in education. Nonprofits is another big focus of ours, and government as well. So it's having that well-rounded knowledge. And we always ask, now that you know, what's next? What are you going to do with this knowledge to make your profession better, make your organization better, but make it better for everybody coming in after you? So we did a total after this last year, and there were over 145 individual subject matter experts, community partners, and thought leaders that we interacted with, which
Wow.
is amazing. So they
That's
had
strong.
the privilege to interact with all of those and get to know them.
And what a nice segue, because you just mentioned nonprofits. And
Yep.
so if it's okay, can
Absolutely.
we'll meet our first guest. Would you like to do the honors? Would you like to introduce Ms. Sakatos?
I will. Sarah Sakatos is with the Partnership for Children, and she was, again, one of our nonprofit members in our cohort, which is another angle but very vital to not only learning for herself in the organization, but for the others in the cohort to learn from her and how that's important in our community.
Very good. Well, Ms. Sakatos, welcome. Good to see you.
Hal.
You've been in with us before, I believe. Have you not?
On the show? No, I have not.
Really? Okay.
No.
Well, it's nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about, first of all, yourself, Catawba County Partnership for Children.
Yes. So we're a local nonprofit. handle the Smart Start funding from the state. We focus on early literacy, birth to age 5 programs. If you've heard of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library.
One of the best out there, if not the best.
Yes, it's a wonderful program. We all love Dolly in this community. And we handle the registrations for that for Catawba County. Also the registration process for NC pre-K slots, free pre-K for 4-year-olds.
Right.
Little free libraries all around the community. We keep those stocked and maintained. And the Children's Resource Center in town for referrals for children birth to age 12 and their parents. And the diaper pantry is one of their latest projects that we have, free diapers for parents. That's a need that we realized was really dire during COVID.
Sure.
That we got started.
Now, this is you have the opportunity to work with a nonprofit in the area. So you're able to tell the other participants, class members, students, about your particular nonprofit group organization. What did you take away from this? Because I think in the nonprofit world, oftentimes leaders or participants in nonprofit groups and organizations do have the opportunities or occasions to meet each other, to get to know each other. It's a good group of nonprofit that work in tandem, work in concert with each other. If you're unable to provide a service, you're able to say, we don't do that, but over here is where you'll be able to. So you know a lot of these folks, but not everybody in the cohort would know that. Is that correct? So that's part of it for the group.
Yes, that was a huge thing, was just building those connections within the cohort, letting everybody know this is what we do, and then getting to know the other members of the cohort and what they do, whether they were nonprofit or for-profit. In the business community, there were still connections to be made.
Sure. Where,
hey, now they know we have this diaper pantry, and that they could have a diaper drive at their bank and help support us.
Right.
Or that other ways that we could work together to help our community, that we wouldn't have been able to make those connections beforehand if we hadn't gotten to know each other the way we did. And, even already being in the nonprofit sector and knowing the other nonprofits in this great community the way I did, right. I still was able to make connections with other nonprofits that I didn't have before. Right. So that we could work together.
Tell you what, we got to go to a break. When we come back, more about the program Leadership Catawba through your Catawba County Chamber of Commerce. Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. We're talking about Leadership Catawba. In just a second, Kim Dahlsten, the Vice President of Operations, is going to tell us how you can get involved. But Ms. Sakatos, and I'm glad you're here because we're talking during the break about the fact that you just like the area. You love being here. You've had the opportunity to be in Charlotte and Chapel Hill and a couple different areas. So you've traveled around. You've gotten to live some different places, but you've decided that this is just right for you. Tell me about a couple things maybe within the program itself, since we're learning about Leadership Catawba. Tell me about maybe a couple of the highlights or a couple of the aha moments, if you will, about the program itself. But you said, yeah, this is a really good program, or this is meaningful, or I feel like this is really something that's valuable for my time and efforts.
Yeah, so, I feel like I'm a Catawba County native, even though I didn't come down here until I was 9 months old.
Right. You're a native, you're fine.
And I really love this community. I've spent most of my life here, and I've wanted to do the Leadership Catawba program since I heard about it, but
really?
In previous jobs, it wasn't really an option. They weren't interested in sending me to it. So when I started my job, summer of 2020, at the partnership, and they said, yes, we would love to send you through that program, I was thrilled. But I didn't think I was going to get quite as much out of it as I did. I thought, well, I've been here forever. I already know everybody. Right. but it's going to be, really good connections still.
Sure.
I was blown away by how much I learned going through this process
Good.
that I had no idea about what all goes on in this community, talking with government leaders,
Right.
learning about just different aspects of the educational opportunities and the connectivity between the different levels of education,
Right.
The different systems that are connecting to make just everything, all these amazing opportunities in the county. It's really impressive, all the work and thought and care that is going into the future of this county. And it really blew me away. I wish that they had space for hundreds of people to do this program every year, and that we had 20 Kim Dahlstens running around to organize all of this cohort every year, because it's really an incredible program, and I wish everybody could do it. I can't speak highly enough about how wonderful this opportunity was.
And again, this is something that your company has benefited from by you having the personal connections now, by you being able to go through this. This is something that not just you benefited from,
Yes.
but from your nonprofit as well.
Yes,
because now you
absolutely.
may be able to pick up the phone and say, I know who to talk to.
Yes.
Or there may be a question that comes up, and you're able to say, I don't know what it may be, but you're able to say, wait, not only did I met somebody in there, could have been in a class that you took, but the personal relationships. Oh, wait, we need a backhoe. I can get you a backhoe.
And our clients and people who call the partnership saying, I need this, I need that. And I can say, well, you've called the wrong number. It's not us. But now I know, Mary Mitchell over at Western Piedmont Council of Governments. I already referred somebody over to her the other day who I said, I don't know exactly who over at the COG you need to speak with, but I know Mary now from the program, and I know she will help you find that person.
She will know the person. See,
Yes.
just a great benefit.
Yes.
Well, it's been very nice meeting you this morning. Thanks
Yes,
so much
thank
for
you so
coming
much,
in.
Hal.
And we're going to meet somebody next, I think Casey McCall, but thank you very much. You just graduated, right?
Yes.
Very good. And so did you actually get to turn the tassel at the stage and they have the robe? Probably not, right? But they give you all a good lunch, don't they?
Yes, we had a wonderful lunch, and we all got a very nice
Plaque.
Diploma.
diploma that we all got in our little ceremony. We got photographs. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I saw the photographs. The
Yes.
one was very serious, and the one was people making silly faces. So that was fun. It was
Yes.
so very nice seeing you this morning. Thank you,
You
so
as
much
well.
for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thanks, Sarah.
And you'll pardon me for not standing. I'm sorry. Normally I would stand when you were coming or leaving the room, but I'm at the microphone, so I can't do that. Ms. Dahlsten, you're here actually to kind of talk to people about joining the program. Let's talk a little bit about that. When is registration? When does that come up?
Absolutely. So in 2 weeks from today, online applications will open for the
Okay.
22-23 Leadership Catawba program.
So you grab that.
And then, but between now and then, we have 2 informational meetings.
Oh, really?
So we have one this Wednesday, so one on May 4th
Okay.
and one on May 10th.
Okay.
And they're both at 3:30 to 5.
Okay.
Registration is available on our website, but if a walk-in wants to come just to learn about it, that's fine. So,
Okay.
but we're going to have graduates there from all different years, and we're going to move them around the attendees in small group rotations so they can just ask questions and learn from those that have actually walked through the program to hear their aha moments, as you've talked about earlier, but also if there's advice that they would give for
Right.
someone considering saying, it's a time commitment,
Right.
just so they can be fully versed before applications open on the 16th.
Okay.
So we're very
Applications
excited.
due
about
open
this.
on the 16th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Let's talk with Casey McCall, no stranger to the First Talk Studios. How are you, sir?
Doing well, Hal. Thanks for having me.
You are more than welcome. Community Navigator, Hickory Police Department. We met you, of course, when we first met you, I think you were with the Salvation Army.
That's correct.
And you were doing a great job there. You have moved on to work with the Hickory Police Department. So let's talk a little bit. First of all, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me about you and your job, your position in the community, if you would. So I'm going to get you to raise that microphone up just a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Go right ahead.
Thanks, Hal. So I, of course, as you said, came from the Salvation Army. I was the director of shelter services there for almost 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
And this opportunity arose. The chief here, Chief Wisnett, and his staff came up with the idea for this position. And that came from the data. It came from the number of homeless that our community, our law enforcement interact with, and seeing the same folks over and over and over again, and not really becoming self-sufficient and back into society. So it was kind of the chief's brainchild to come up with this position, and he asked me to come and do it. And I jumped at the chance.
So you're working with the homeless population and the
Correct.
police department, and I guess the city of Hickory and all the different areas as well, right?
Correct. Yes, I work with so many different aspects, from for-profit to nonprofit to law enforcement agencies. Anyone I can, anyone that's willing to work with me.
So you know a lot of different people in the area.
Correct.
So that must have been good for people to meet you as classmates and participants, so that they kind of know you and what you do. But tell me a little bit about what you took away from the program and what you were able to learn about. Because I'm going to guess, like Ms. Sakatos, you'd been here for a while, and you figure, I'm working with all these nonprofit, I'm working with all these different groups. I probably know everybody, but you maybe got in and discovered that maybe there were some people that you wanted to meet and needed to meet.
Absolutely. And if I'm honest, I walked into this thinking with the apprehension that, I may not have a lot in common with certain folks if they're a banker or if they're, because I did live the nonprofit lifestyle for so many years.
Right.
But then you quickly learn really that you just build those relationships with folks you didn't think you would have anything in common with, that frankly now are friends of mine that flag me down in the park, or they call me up and want to do lunch, and and so it is. It was an amazing experience that frankly I didn't think I would be appropriate for, because before I was a leader, I had a supervisor position, I was over staff. Now I'm a one person doing a job, but the chamber through leadership reminded me that you're more than just a leader to your staff. You're a leader in your community. You're a leader to your clients that you work with. So that was one big thing that I came away with.
Well, I think that's wonderful, because we hadn't talked about that. But the person, the individual, the person that you are, was made better by Leadership Catawba. Not just the meeting the people, and not just the leadership, but you yourself as an individual took away maybe a new look at yourself and your position.
Absolutely.
Through what Leadership Catawba was able to bring. I think that's a very astute observation, when we're able to look at ourselves and say, this was it bettered me as an individual, which makes you a better person in the community. Which, and I'm sure that there were a lot of people who either wanted your business card or wanted to shake your hand, and like you say now, are talking with you. So that was one of the aha moments. Tell me about maybe some of the people that you met, or one or two of the folks that you met, that you said to yourself, wow, this is somebody who I had no idea was going to be in Leadership Catawba, or this is somebody I need to be aligned with due to my job. Any of those experiences?
How none stand out any more than any other.
Gotcha.
I feel, honestly, I came that way that with everyone I met in Leadership Catawba.
Gotcha.
You have leaders of hospitals, and we have two very nice hospitals right here in Hickory, and you have educators from CVCC that a little farther down the line in the growth process with my clients may become an option.
So all those,
education.
Literally everybody you met had something to offer for your position and where you were. More with Casey McCall. We're talking about Leadership Catawba. More First Talk on the way.
WHKY Talk Radio, 1290 AM and 102.3 FM.
Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. We're talking this morning about Leadership Catawba. Vice President of Operations and Director of Leadership Catawba with the Catawba County Chamber of Commerce, Kim Dahlsten, joins us this morning. We have spoken with Sarah Sakatos, Community Engagement Specialist with Catawba County Partnership for Children. Now we're talking with Casey McCall. He's Community Navigator, Hickory Police Department. I like what you said earlier when we were talking about what it brought to you individually and the empowerment that it gave you as a leader personally, but also want to talk about maybe what you were able to bring to the group, because working with the police department, you have a platform and you're able to talk to people, but being able to talk to these other community leaders, did you find they looked to you a great deal for information and for opinions and for facts on homelessness in the area when they found out who you were and what you did? Did you find that maybe a lot of people were either at the time that you were in class or, hey, let's go have a coffee, or I need to know more about this? Did you feel like you were able to bring that to to Leadership Catawba?
Absolutely. No, I'm not sure if it wasn't me that brought it up every time, because that's all I know. But absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. People would come to you and say, hey, I'm interested in the homeless in the area, or I'm interested in the or this camp, or what's going on with. I'm sure they had a lot of questions and maybe felt more comfortable in that situation, able to talk to you about it.
They did. There's a lot of misconceptions about it, and it was good to be able to fill in some blanks for a lot of people in our community that don't have a true grasp of all the variables. So it was an enlightening experience, and I feel like I probably talked about homelessness about every day I was in the chamber.
Well, I think that's wonderful, though, because the folks who would join would have one-on-one access with you, where you were able to maybe talk in a different situation than a public forum. You weren't going to a church and presenting, during the worship hour or something. You were able to actually sit down and talk with people who you knew in the class, and to bring vital information in our community to these leaders throughout the community who said, well, they're able to go back and say, well, I was talking with the community navigator for the Hickory Police Department, and maybe we're a little bit off target. Here's what's really going on.
Correct.
Or this is really the situation with homelessness in the area, and you were able to give them that information that they could maybe get nowhere else in the community.
That's true.
I just think that's interesting. That's another reason, maybe not for you specifically, but people who are listening this morning and saying, wow, if I plug into Leadership Catawba, there's a great opportunity for me to maybe meet somebody to get plugged in to all the different things that are going on in the community. But you had a good time doing it, right? You got to meet a lot of folks and enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I'm begging Kim to let me do it again.
Oh, there you go. keep coming back. I want to thank you, Mr. McCall. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Casey McCall, Community Navigator, Hickory Police Department, and thank you for what you're doing for our community. You're doing the Lord's work out there, man. I truly believe that. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks, Hal.
Good to see you again, sir. Ms. Dahlsten, we've talked about a lot of different ways that people could get plugged into this, and whether it's individually and what they take from it, or individually what they can give to the program. There's a lot going on here.
Absolutely. It isn't just a one layer. We talk about, we talk about the layers of the onion, and if you figure out this, then there's something else, and whether it's learning from those that are presenting to the program, whether it's a government leader or education leader, or just listening to the person sitting next to you that's your class member, because we have 35 different life stories and experiences and what they're bringing to it and what they can share. And you can always learn something from somebody else. You're never done, and you've never fully checked that box off in your life. And so it's being open to all of those conversations and knowing that they can also learn from you. So not being reserved or anything, but sharing when it's appropriate and asking questions that help make it the biggest program for yourself also.
How long have you been doing this specifically?
So I'll be starting my 6th year with this program.
Sixth year. So the opportunities for you must have been wonderful.
Yes.
Of getting to meet all the different people.
Completely. It is truly a blessing to be the steward of this program, and I don't take that job lightly because I want everybody to have the highest quality interaction where they can develop personally but also professionally for their organization.
There is a cost involved with this. We do want to let people know this is
tuition.
Tuition.
There you go. Absolutely. So $11.95 for our chamber partners and then $13.95 for the general public. More information can be found on our website at catawbachamber.org, and also sign up for any of the informational meetings that are upcoming.
And of course, this is something that I don't know if you would recommend, but you would certainly suggest that maybe employers in the area decide that they want to pay the tuition for their employees, and because that way that's additional training, that's something else that they're going to have in their arsenal, if
Absolutely.
you will.
We have several companies that this is their annual that they always are going to have someone come into it.
Right.
Because they know the quality is there, they know the interaction is there, and we do limit
They see their return on their investment.
Absolutely. We limit it to one business, one cohort member per business, so they get 35 different interactions and not 3 from the same company that are coming. Although
Gotcha.
we have people that are interested in that all the time, but it's amazing. We have over 90 on our interest list right now for the program.
Wow.
So it's amazing. Again, all those that have worked on the program, again, starting our 48th year, it has been for all of their diligent effort and making sure that it's the highest quality program for our community.
So maybe someone's listening this morning, they say, I've got somebody I think who would be right for this. The information sessions happen the 4th and the 10th of this month. Is that right?
Correct. At 3:30, and sign up is on our website again at catawbachamber.org.
So that's this Wednesday.
Correct.
And next Tuesday. Okay,
Correct.
very good. Sign
And they're
up.
free to attend.
Free to attend. Just come in and get the information. And, of course, you can find more information on the website as
Correct.
well. And,
Correct.
and that's catawbachamber.org?
You got it.
catawbachamber.org. Next, we have another guest, and if you would please introduce her.
I'm delighted to. So Shica Long, she is with Vanguard Furniture, Inc., and again was one of the dynamic ones that came in and certainly has a new story to tell. All of those that has been here, but also learned about her community. And I would just digress a tad bit that just because you lived here your whole entire life doesn't mean you're not going to gain something from this. So I think as an outsider for myself, I'm always learning something new, but I'm always interested in the perspective of those that have been here and those that are from this community, what they can gain as well.
Very good. Ms. Long, so nice to have you with us this morning.
Nice to be here, Hal. How are you?
I am well. Thank you very much. Assistant Plant Manager.
Well, actually, I'm the upholstery plant manager now.
Wow. So that's now I got it. Some just question. Are you from the area originally?
No, I'm really from Ardell County, but I've worked in Catawba County my whole career. So Catawba County is where I call my work home.
Gotcha. Have you upholstered furniture before? Were you an upholsterer?
No, actually, I started out as a sewer.
Okay.
Back in the late 90s, I was encouraged by my mother to seek the profession of sewing, and from there, I sewed for so many years.
Right.
And I still know how to do it, so I have that craft under my belt.
So now, how did you move up? Is it within Vanguard that you, or were you at another company and then moved? Tell me a little bit about your career and how that happened for you.
Well, I started out as a sewer, as I said before,
Right.
and then when the company that I worked for, they dispersed that department that we were at,
Right.
and so I went back to school for a little bit for paralegal. But then I decided, hey, that's not going to pay my bills,
Right.
so I went back into what I knew the most, which was sewing. And so I worked for different furniture companies before, but then I found my home at Vanguard Furniture, and Vanguard Furniture is where I started out as a sewer, and progressed into where I am today as manager, and then a assistant upholstery plant manager, and now I am the upholstery plant manager.
The upholstery plant manager for Vanguard Furniture. That is usually not, I'm just going to say it. I just say stuff. It's usually not a position held by a woman.
Correct. And I find honor trying to be the first one to tread ground there as the first plant manager as a female. So I definitely take this role and I embrace it.
I think that's wonderful. Now, there is another plant manager. It's with the Furniture Academy. And the lady over there, I can't remember.
Cindy Fulbright?
Yes, Cindy Fulbright.
Yes.
So she is a plant manager as well.
Yes.
She manages that plant. But you must face some challenges there, especially in upholstery. That's wonderful because that doesn't happen a lot.
Exactly. Vanguard saw something in me, and they took that and nourished it and got me to where I am today. And my ultimate goal is to always be the best at what I do. I think I'm an over achiever at times,
Right.
honestly. But Vanguard has been a great to me and my family. But being in this role as an upholstery plant manager, I love it. Every day I come to work, I love everything that I'm doing. Every day is different.
There's so much that goes on in an upholstery plant.
Yes,
And you're the plant manager.
I am.
I think that's fantastic. Way to go! I could probably do a show on this.
Thank you.
But I think that's just wonderful. Well, now tell me about your experience with Leadership Catawba.
Oh, Leadership Catawba is amazing. When I first got into the program, I was encouraged by my director to apply, and I was chosen. with the application process, and I was accepted to be in Leadership Catawba. I think Leadership Catawba is just so amazing. You don't know what to expect in this program until you actually get into the program.
I hate to interrupt, but we got a commercial.
Yes.
We got a commercial break coming up, but I want to hear more from you when we return. Shica, am I pronouncing that right?
Shica, yes.
Shica Long. She is the, I'm going to scratch out assistant here. She's a plant manager, upholstery plant manager for Vanguard Furniture. More First Talk on the way. Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. Shica Long joins us this morning, upholstery plant manager for Vanguard Furniture. Tell me about your time in, because we've heard some different stories, but your time in Leadership Catawba, what it brought to you and what you feel like you were able to bring to Leadership Catawba. Because when I first started this morning, I was going to ask what you got from Leadership, but everybody who's come in has been able to bring something to Leadership Catawba as well, which I find to be very interesting. So tell me what you were able to take from the program and what you feel like you were able to bring to, if you would.
Well, what I was able to get from Leadership Catawba was the aspect of how it all works together. Being in a leadership role, you are expected to do certain things because you are a leader of the Catawba County region. But going to Leadership Catawba, I've learned so much. It's all about giving out and taking in, learning how the community just really invests in its people, its young people, just how they deep dive into how can we help you, not that they don't resist it, but they want to be a help to the community. Just like the Council of Adolescents, that was the most fundamental aha moment for me in the program, because they help with smart moms and dads. Me being a teenage parent, I really gravitated to that program with Jordan Lanford, who works in that area, and I found a connection with her just because I would love to be able to go and help out and volunteer my time.
So you were able to find out about groups, organizations that really touched your heart, that had had an idea or a similarity to what they were doing. So this gives you that opportunity. What do you feel that you brought to Leadership Catawba? Because I think that maybe people did not know maybe about, who knows, upholstery and furniture is a big thing in the area. But they probably had a lot of questions. They probably had a lot of questions about, because you get one per cohort, and you were the furniture person there or the upholstery furniture there. Did people have a lot of questions about upholstery, about the way the job market is, what it takes to work there, what it's going to take for furniture in the future? Were you able to bring that to the Leadership Catawba?
Yes, when we first started, there was a lot of questions about the upholstery. Far as like, what are we doing to help the next generation of upholsterers, sewers. And what we do at Vanguard is that we do like an apprenticeship, and we also take people and train them, because we understand that there's a dying generation going out there that's in retirement, and that is a qualified skill. You just can't go in the door and get that job. You have to acquire that skill somewhere. So we take that skill, or we take the person that they're teachable, and we hone in on that, and we grasp it, and so we training up the next generation. So that's what I feel like I was able to bring to the cohort. There has a lot of people that were school teachers, and not all their students are planning to go to college.
Right.
So there's other options available to them.
It sounds like you learned a whole lot about a lot of different things. You're going to recommend this to people who have not had this, or maybe to employers. If you had to go talk to another group, what do you think the number one selling point for Catawba, for Leadership Catawba, would be? That if you were talking to another furniture executive, and you talked to them, what would you say that they're where they're going to see their return on the investment?
Well, for one, they will get a leader after this program is over. They will get a leader who wants to invest back into the community and volunteer their time. And what I would say to anybody that is thinking about joining the program, expect the unexpected. You will come in that day and you will leave so fulfilled and with the eagerness to go out and do more for this community that you love so much.
I think that's a wonderful. Well, we got to get you in front of some more CEOs then. That's what you need to do, Ms. Dahlsten. I want to thank you very much for your time this morning and the fine folks at Vanguard who invested in you and in the future of our community. So, Shica Long, so very nice meeting you and continued success. I'm going to ask you real quick here, what's the popular color now? What are we seeing coming through the factories? What's the new color for this fall or this spring? Well, for a while it was blues and grays and pinks and yellows. What fabrics are you seeing coming through? What do they select at market? What's coming through that looks really, really pretty?
Honestly, the neutral colors. I mean, the
Right.
plain neutral, grays, light blues, those type of colors. That way they just go any room you want to put it in.
Right. So you can do with the walls what you want to do. You can do it when you want to do with the
Yes.
carpet. Very good. Yeah, I was going to say they've done some extravagant things in years past. Glad to hear that we're just in the cool blues and the blues and the grays. So nice to have you with us this morning. So before we wrap up this morning, Ms. Dahlsten, we have just a couple of minutes left. You tell me your opinion of why employers should invest in the tuition for their employees and to give up those work days, to give up, is it a day and a half every month? So you got a day and a half every month. You got to write a check. Why? Let's just say that there's a CEO listening this morning. What's the reason?
I think it's you're investing in the future of your community. So it is hands down the way to build up someone if you see leadership potential, as Shica has just shared that story, that someone has always saw in her what she might not have seen in herself, or if you have someone that's eager to learn more, if they want to give back, they just don't know where that is. So this program allows them to meet a variety of people, like we said, over 145 interactions that they had, to be able to find that passion and where they can lead in and lead for the future.
Tell us again, if you would, the basic information for this. If somebody heard it, they haven't jotted it down, because we have 2 information sessions coming up, one Wednesday and then one the following Tuesday.
Correct. So May 4th and May 10th, we have free informational meetings. So at 3:30 to 5 is the time frame. So again, you can sign up on our website, catawbachamber.org.
So do sign up for the informational meeting.
Just for helping for planning purposes is what we're talking about.
Right.
Those informational meetings, they will meet different Leadership Catawba graduates that will share their stories, and they get to talk to them in small group rotations. So those are just, we started last year. Shica was actually at one of those. And so it's just a way that you get to learn from others to help make that decision for yourself. So, and then online applications open on May 16th, so 2 weeks from today, for the 22-23 program. So,
Real quick before we wrap up, the biggest objection coming in and the easiest way that you were able to overcome that. What do you hear more of from anybody? I'm not thinking it's tuition, but it may be. But I'm thinking maybe time constraints.
Right.
What's the biggest objection
Right.
that you hear and the way that you address that and overcome that objection?
I don't know that I've heard a lot of objections, short of that we missed the cutoff because the class is already full.
Okay.
So it's, my suggestion is, if you do have someone that's interested, I will go on that, to have them fill out that application on the first or the second day, just to make sure that they get included in the cohort,
Right.
or else they'll be on the wait list for the next year. So
Gotcha. So that's the biggest, and so they can take care of that. They can get signed up that very first day.
Yes.
When does it start again? I got down
So
here. I've
the-
got a couple different dates written down. So tell
correct.
me.
So the 22-23 program will actually begin in August with orientation and a retreat, and then it graduates in March of 2023.
Okay, and registration starts when?
On May, online applications open on May 16th.
May 16th. Okay, that's what I thought. But so that's not today, but you got 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today
2
to
weeks
get
from today.
ready.
So don't hesitate.
Right.
If you've heard some things this morning that maybe piqued your interest, don't hesitate. Get signed up on the 16th, because you don't want to have to wait until that
Right.
next year. Kim Dahlsten, thank you so
Thank you,
much
Hal,
for
very
joining
much.
us. We've been talking this morning with Sarah Sakatos, Community Engagement Specialist, Catawba County Partnership for Children, Casey McCall, Community Navigator, Hickory Police Department, and Shica Long, the Upholstery Plant Manager for Vanguard Furniture, as well as Kim Dahlsten, she's the Director of Leadership Catawba with the Catawba County Chamber of Commerce. We'll go ahead and close the way we normally do with our national anthem. Thanks so much for joining us on First Talk. We know you have a choice in morning radio. That's why we appreciate you choosing the First Talk radio program. Be grateful for what you got. Make it a great day. We'll talk tomorrow on First Talk.